Were we on our way back? I can't remember now. Or were we still laying in that restaurant?
No, we got in our shifts and started heading toward Colorado.
Oh, okay, that's
your
right.
old town.
Oh,
Yep.
that's right. I agree.
Yeah. All right. We ready to start?
Yep, I'm ready.
I'm just mopping up, so we're good.
I already know what you're doing, Visor. All right.
Yeah, it's a massacre.
All right. Welcome back, stream. This is episode 14.
I had to check that.
Yeah. 14. Wow. All right. If you are interested in this game at all, danddestinyproject.com. You can download all the books from there. You can download PDF, check it out, and support them. Without them, this game is not possible. All right. With that said, we are going to jump right back in.
Yeah.
Notes here real quick. Going back to Stonehorn.
Sweet home Stonehorn. Oh wait, that doesn't make sense in any way. It was. So somebody destroyed it.
Alright. When we last left our heroes, Uro Shale, Elias Norwood, Theo Levin, and their ghosts, DB, Paradox, and Nova, the party encountered the evil speedster for the first time. After a brief discussion and a small display of its power, Elias unleashed his super and engulfed the speedster in arc energy, but the speedster split his beam and harmlessly made it pass around him. A short fight ensued between the speedster and the party, with them, unfortunately, not making a whole lot of damage. The speedster did manage to get away with the chip and left the party wounded on the street. Now, regrouping and heading back to Stonehorn to decrypt the data they did manage to uncover, the party is in flight as their ghosts discuss to the party what they were able to learn. So, between New York and Colorado, you guys have roughly an hour flight, so you guys are going to have a short rest. So if you did have any HP you didn't heal up already, go ahead and heal it back up.
Oh shoot! Yeah.
Imagine losing HP.
Get the fuck up.
Okay. My HP's back up. Yeah, my shield.
So, right off the bat, you guys are seeing in your HUDs, your ghosts are displaying the information that they were able to gather. The basic scans they're able to get through your heads-up displays.
Mine's a little scratched from being run through the ground.
Yeah, yours is a little scuffed, but it's still functional.
Yeah.
So Paradox is kind of relaying the information here to the party. So we've already discussed how much power we're able to find from it, but here's something interesting, and it starts zooming in on both two areas. It's relaying on the boots and on to the sides of the helmet where you're seeing the Ahamkara Bones. Did you guys catch what these are?
Yeah, and I don't like it.
Yeah, they're Ahamkara Bones. The arc energy that it was emanating from him was pretty much crackling off these bones. What's worrisome about this is we don't really know just how deep wish magic can really go.
Oh, for some reason he knows me, but I don't know him.
He mentioned the future, too. Paradox turns to you yet. Do you think He's
And-
really from the future?
It's a possibility.
Well, I suppose it's not something we can discount right now.
I mean, there is a reason why we're trying to kill all the Ahamkara.
Yeah, we're gonna have to check with the Awoken, I think, on that one, but we're gonna come back to that. One other thing I wanted to bring up, and he brings up a satellite image of New York. He goes, "This is our position," and he's highlighting on the map. This is where we are here, and then you see how quickly this dot comes flying in,
Mm-hmm.
and it comes in more easily the fastest thing you've ever seen come just flying across the map. Like no plane or no jet that you've ever seen has ever flown across the radar so quickly, and it's flabbergasting. The speed, from what I've been able to measure, he came running through on was at least Mach 2.
Jesus.
And judging from the amount of power he was emanating, I would actually guess that's not his maximum speed.
I could believe that.
And that's Paradox switches back over, and you see that image of where he's holding up the chip to you.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "Even I wasn't able to see how fast he was able to move to do that, but the the vial that you were holding in your hand,
You mean
he
processor?
well, like yeah, there was the vial was holding the processor
Ah,
because you weren't holding the chip itself, you were holding the container with the chip.
okay, yeah. That's what I was
He
confused
pulled it out of the container without breaking it.
Yeah, it's some fuck shit.
So he could probably move through solid object through the molecular structure.
That's the other thing too. He was able to basically ignore Eros's aeroblast by some kind of vibration.
So easy to assume that no structure could hold him if we were to unbox him.
It's gonna have to
Possibly.
be if there's anything that could encase it, it's gonna be some kind of high energy field. But we're talking an energy that's gonna be like astronomical, because it would have to match its power.
Which would also be very costly.
Which the
Yeah.
Vanguard is not gonna help us with because they're focused on the Ahamkara.
And the Crucible has nowhere near that amount.
I don't think this is something the Vanguard can help us with, but maybe the Awoken. And as Paradox says this, DB he turns and looks at you, Eros. And he's looking to your response.
It sounds like we're going on the trip. Also, this explains the mess that we found in that tower, Elias, when we went on the first mission. The one where you became a Rorschach painting?
Shut the fuck up.
I do kind of wish to see that site.
Yeah. Wait, do you mean in Chicago?
Well, besides from the arena and a few places of the Crucible, I haven't really traveled that much.
Oh, you'll
We'd
love
be
it.
passing Chicago, going to Colorado, so we could stop there.
Oh, you can
You
see
guys
it
could
from
take
the
a
sky.
detour. It is in that general direction.
Yeah, you can see it from the sky. It's real easy. It's right
I
on the
don't
top.
think he's talking about the Rorschach painting. I
Oh,
think he's
no,
talking
no.
about
You
the
got to
room.
see the Rorschach painting.
Well, both would be very nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure any blood and stuff would be washed away from that helipad, so...
Yes, but not the crater.
I didn't leave a crater.
I don't know about that.
I mean, your body did impact pretty hard there. It's not. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say crater, but You didn't.
Okay,
You
hold on, hold on.
didn't.
I
You
just
left a
wanna point out,
mark.
people have dropped from a higher altitude than that and not even dented concrete. They just fucking left a mark. Like, as in, oh, yeah, there's blood. No, I am not
Yes,
denting a
but
helipad.
but
Yeah, they gotta
see what you're forgetting though is you're wearing armor.
It does not matter. There might be
You're a
scratch.
harder object, and
There
when you
might be a
impact,
scratch.
you crack the concrete.
Okay, let's fucking go.
Oh, and Eros, your helmet was damaged during the fight, correct?
Duh. It's a bit.
Then that also gives me the perfect opportunity to possibly fix it.
Oh, that would be great because this is hard to see through a little.
So you want to transmat your helmet over to his ship in flight?
Can we do that?
I said when we land.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. That's why I had to ask, because I'm like, wait, are you asking to do this in flight?
Hey, we're gonna
No,
do this
we're
fancy
going to be taking a
maneuver?
detour either way, so I might as well use more time with it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds fine to me. I'm like, I didn't know you could do that. So, new to me.
Well, besides from participating in the Crucible, I'm also a smith for the Sun Legion.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you. I can see again then.
So if you find something a bit too costly for repairs or weaponsmithing, I can at least somewhat help with that.
Weaponsmithing. We may have something here.
That's neat to know. I just said that's neat to know.
Oh, I just got the last word of that. Sorry. Okay.
Alright.
So, for sake of it, you guys do take a detour and you do fly over Chicago. At the moment, over the area you're passing, there's not much fallen activity since the incident had occurred. A lot of the fallen have pretty much scattered there. There are still remnants within the city, but you're not going down there to deal with any of that. You are able to fly over the skyscraper, which you guys did land on because it is in the center of the city.
I'm just gonna land on the landing platform.
You guys want to go there? You want to land on it?
Yeah, we're gonna have to go into the building at one point.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
we're gonna go down
just
to the room.
okay. Yeah, I just didn't know what the plan was here.
It actually would be good.
Okay.
Because then Theo gets to see that.
All right,
Yeah, Dave,
so-
don't worry about it.
Excuse you.
Well, okay. Theo and I are gonna go grab a drink while the god and Elias speak. What was that sound? Don't
Yeah,
worry about it.
I just had to
Elias,
say it to be
there's a
smart
flash of light behind you.
Oh shit!
Oh shit! Oh fuck!
You
No, I'm
cheetah
just kidding.
fucker,
I'm
cheetah
just
fuck.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
The moments.
So-
Oh man.
Were there any sort of safe rooms I could possibly tinker up?
There is a fucking. I'm trying to think of the right word for it. I'll just show him the VIP room with the safe that we originally discovered when landing up here.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be
So-
a safe room. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or-
and I'll try and recall this as well because it's been a while since we've been here. So Megu, as you're coming down into this tower, it's an office building that's probably it's a little over 100 years old. There's papers tossed throughout the entire floor. Where this is currently at, there's a meeting room and then there's a VIP room into the back area. The doors have already been opened up, so you could see this was a hidden room originally, but because of what's already happened over time here, these doors have been whipped wide open. So you're able to just walk right through into the VIP room.
A lot less decorative than what I thought of the VIP room.
Nova starts looking around and goes, "You said this is where you first encountered this information, right?"
Of signs of the guy. Since we don't really have a name for him.
Yes.
But yeah, there should be marks on a wall if I recall
Isn't-
correctly, because I can't remember exactly.
Well, there was the spot where it was like impacted, like you know how he
Yeah,
slammed
there's
down?
an impact. Yeah, there's kind of like an impact crater in the wall, in the back wall
That's
of the VIP room.
That's what I remember there, and I was like, okay. Then that would also explain.
And then there's the other area, quite a few floors down.
That the one with
Alright.
the safe room?
Then
Yeah, and Paradox kind of jumps in and relays over to the info. Yeah, this is a Genesis Corporation tower. Maybe a headquarters of some kind. This a lot of their VIPs and head CEOs, or what's the word? Not CEOs.
COOs
Uh,
or
is
CSO.
yeah, the guys who work for the bigger guy, whatever that is.
The board.
Sure.
Be a big room anyway. So
Yeah, that seems to have been a tower for the big head honchos at this corporation.
Alright. Then just go ahead and grab me a table, hand me your helmet, and I'll get to my work.
While that's going on, I might as well go and head down the tower to the other area where that security team was slaughtered.
Okay. So while you're making your way down there,
Using the elevator shaft.
okay, each one of you does hear over the radio, and Elias, you're gonna recognize his voice right away. It's Nikon. Fire team, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're alive.
Elias, I've been gathering the reports from the counselors who were speaking with the children who were rescued. I have some information that might be of some vital use to you.
Alrighty. Heads up, we're also in Chicago at the moment. We're stopping to do emergency repairs on some of Uros's gear that got fucking obliterated when he got dragged across the ground at Mach 2.
whoa.
Understood, and I've actually encrypted this channel with our ghosts. This information might be a bit sensitive.
Alrighty.
What we've been able to learn so far is that the children have heard it call its name, and it refers itself to as GODHAND.
GODHAND?
It said this, it chose to tell these people because they were going to die. They deserve to know who killed them. And it referred to himself as GODHAND.
Well, he sure as shit isn't a god, and I can tell you that.
I don't believe it to be a god either, but from the descriptions we've been getting is, well, frankly disturbing. And
Is there a way to send footage of, like, my point of view from the combat to him real quick? Or live stream it to him?
you can send a link through your ghost.
Yeah, I'm gonna send that to him and go, yeah, watch this real quick.
Okay, so your ghost pops up a light, and he's feeding information over to Nikon.
I'm just gonna wait for Nikon to watch it.
Yes, I see.
And do you see how he gets hurt?
Yes.
Means gods don't get hurt very easily. Means he's still mortal.
Yes, but that's not the part that I'm more concerned with. I'm more concerned with the fact that when he was being hit, he didn't feel pain. This is something that the children mentioned as well. The village had shot at him. They did hit him, but he seemed unfazed.
Yeah, well, we took quite a few shots at him, hurt him, and then he did that weird healing shit.
Yes, I've been reviewing the information Paradox sent over as well. I've been compiling everything to get a profile of him, and in the hopes to at least build a better understanding of what he's after, and hopefully figure out a way to beat him.
He took a processor from us. Like a super processor for a computer. And you can
Any
also
idea-
probably see that being taken from me in the video too.
Any idea what it's for?
I just look at Uros and go, this started with you.
Probably because of the Genesis project. Except for I'm holding back a lot of anger right now.
DB kind of jumps in on your behalf, and he goes, It seems to be linked to Genesis Corporation. We've been trying to put together leads into exactly what it is, and we have some data that we're going to be trying to decrypt. Right now we're working on it. We don't know everything that he needs to rebuild the device, but we're pretty sure he's rebuilding this device. And from the sounds from what he was saying, he fully intends to use the device on Earth.
Yep.
Nikon is just, he's quietly listening to this and goes, all right, continue your research. If you need further assistance, let me know. As far as the Ahamkara Bones, I'm looking into that as well. I'll see what I can to grant you an audience with the Awoken Queen, perhaps, and get you some information on more of this wish magic.
Oh,
I don't understand it myself, but yes.
This is just speculation. We don't know anything about time travel, do we?
Are you asking above game?
No, I'm asking Nikon.
Oh, okay.
Like, in the Vanguard records.
It's not something I'm really aware of. It's been theoretical for some time, but it's never been anything that we've proven ourselves.
This guy knows me.
Yeah, Paradox relayed this to me as well, and I find that really disturbing as well. Have you worked with anyone in the past that may hold a grudge against you?
Not to my knowledge. You know the people that I worked with, and that's the other fire team, really, and then a few people in the past, and that's it.
There's a lot of problems with this situation. He mentions the Vanguard becomes too powerful and brings the darkness here. He mentions us failing against the darkness. He says a lot of things that may or may not be true. Right now we need to figure out his motive and what we can do to stop it.
Well, it's going to be interesting. As I'm saying this, I am, like, rappelling down the elevator shaft.
Yeah, for brevity, like, this is happening like walking and talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So y'all do hear over the comms, like, the fucking little device that I have to go up and down elevator shafts.
While this conversation is going on, what are you two guys doing?
I'm doing the repair on Uros's helmet, for one.
Okay. And Uros, are you just hanging out watching him repair it?
Yeah, I'm just kind of sitting across from him, watching Theo work on it. I'm like, trying to, I'm still pissed off from the fight, because I'm like, okay, this is the guy who killed this village off that I said I was going to try and protect, and I couldn't. So I'm kind of sitting there enraged, and I'm looking at Theo, and I want to ask him a question. And it's like, I lost my focus, Theo. I let my rage take over. How can I keep my focus?
Well, take it from someone that is almost always in combat as well. You shouldn't worry about the things that are within the past, even if it is a strong grudge. I mean, as you saw, I almost lost my composure, but I still kept true.
Yes, you did. Thank you for the
Nova
help.
will also chime in and goes, "We've been doing Crucible combat for a number of years, and one thing that I can say that we've learned together is that you need to clear your mind of everything else and focus on what's in front of you, and only what's in front of you. If you think about anything more or anything above that, you hesitate even a little bit, you're gonna
And it
lose."
can't be your head.
Can I make y'all roll for something?
Can I ask you what?
If they forgot to mute their microphones.
No, I just left it on because I'm like,
Well, his helmet's off, so technically
that's
he
right.
wouldn't be on. Elias,
What? No,
Uros would not be on comms.
he talked to Nikon though. He talked to
Well,
him
they're hearing this conversation happen, but they're not necessarily on comms.
Well, no, I'm saying like Uros directly talked to Nikon though, and there's a reason why I'm asking this, because I'm gonna kind of hint toward Nikon. Hey, maybe you got another student.
what?
Okay, but I was kind of like doing this as like while your conversation with Nikon's happening,
Oh, okay, okay. So
this is
it's
like
two
happening.
completely separate
Yeah,
things.
that's kind of what I was intending it to be.
Okay, I didn't catch that then.
Yep.
Okay.
So. Yeah, because I want you guys to have your conversation. Like, I don't want that to be. We're not having it for the group. It's between these two. Damn it.
But yeah,
Hey,
Leave Theo and I alone. We're having a moment here. I need to talk.
no.
But,
Dang it, now I
yes,
gotta get
so
back into it.
if you always cloud yourself with the thoughts of the past, that will eventually cost you your head. So it's better to always keep those memories within the past.
Focus on the moment, the now, but not forget the past. But let it go. I will have to
Nova
work on this.
responds, "There's a time and a place to remember and honor the dead and the living, but in combat, there can only be one winner. It's the one who draws the fastest."
Okay. Okay. I see.
That should be all the repairs.
Oh, it looks shinier than it did before.
There isn't any major improvements, just fixing your visor.
Yes. I
Yep.
can
So
see.
as you put the helmet back on, your heads-up display is no longer blinking, and it is it's actually even about 10% brighter.
Oh, this is much better. Thank you, Theo. Now I can see again. And I can focus.
No, don't mention it. Though, if you actually wish to improve some of your stuff, that would actually cost.
Let me know how much. I will pay you. Gladly.
It's more of I just need parts. Can't really have everything packed up.
What kind of parts do you need?
Not much. Just anything that would be beneficial towards your armor. Or if you want me to do weapons, then I would just need a lot of glimmer.
Okay. Just let me know how much, and I'll give you some money for it, or glimmer. Excuse me. I remember Turkey World.
I'm not the shield for nothing.
I was gonna say glimmer and money are interchangeable, so.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same. It's fine.
Hey, I'm working on another one where I actually have to separate that a little bit. It's like,
All right. Meanwhile, so Nikon, he's just kind of briefed you on everything that he's learned. Basically, just relaying back all the same information that he's learned from you guys. So picking up here. So going forward, I should be able to get you party with the Awoken. Hopefully in the next day or two. In the meantime, continue doing your investigation. Do try to avoid any more confrontations.
I do have one question though for you, and if you don't mind looking into it, or you might already have the info.
Go ahead.
Apparently there was this doctor lady that left a message for Uros on one of the systems. Do we ever know what happened to her? Like, do the children know by any chance?
That's a good question. Don't have an answer for you now, but I'll look into it and see if I can learn anything more.
Because if the children know that she got taken by this GODHAND, I hate calling him that. I'm not gonna lie.
I've got another name for him, but you won't like it.
You're not on the comms. But I'd literally just say to Nikon, I hate calling him that. It does not sound right.
I didn't choose his name, but I can understand why you might hate that.
Did we come up with something else for him? Skippy?
I
Like
don't
the
think
meaning.
I don't think that's us to decide.
It is up to us to decide because he doesn't get to choose a call sign.
Oh.
But no, just
Anyway,
ask Jin or any of the kids if they seen the doctor get taken by this guy or if she was killed, because can't really identify the remains. It'd probably help Uros if he ended up knowing what happened to her too.
fair point. And you might be onto something. If the doctor does have some knowledge on how to rebuild the device, then he might likely need her.
Yep.
I'll look into it and see if I can dig up anything further. If I find anything, I'll let you know. In the meantime, if you find anything, do keep me apprised.
Alrighty, we're back in the Genesis Corp Tower here in Chicago. Also, that's where we decided to stop since it's the most familiar to us.
Understood.
Other than that, just give us a call if something happens.
Will do. And the comms just cut off.
Yep, kind of expected that.
All right, so you've made it down to which floor were you going to?
I was going to the fourth where I did that like sneaky motion like in through the elevator, like was hanging upside down, where we had found like the security team fucking absolutely killed.
Okay. Well, so for brevity's sake, during this conversation, you have arrived to that spot.
Okay.
Now, so what were you looking to do here?
I was actually going to ring up Theo and Uros to live stream it, so Theo didn't have to come down to show him the other area that we were talking about here.
Okay. So since you guys are still up there on the conversation on your HUDs, you do see a video do pop up here, and Elias is streaming from his ghost to you guys.
All right.
This is basically where the other area here in this facility where we found evidence of this guy just murdering an entire team. As I show probably one of the skeletons turned half to dust against a wall.
Hmm.
And
Paradox chimes on the line. He's got a strange knack for violence.
yep, this guy's mother didn't love him.
That's one way of putting it.
But yeah. Anything you want me to look at down here? And I just slowly show him the room, see if there's anything that pops out to him.
And while that's happening, Paradox is kind of like slowly looking around the room, just giving you the overall picture of the room.
Yeah.
Perception.
Yeah. Can I roll a perception to see if I notice anything?
Absolutely. Roll perception for me. 5. So nothing is standing out to you. The violence in this room is pretty gruesome.
Can I see if anything has changed in the room?
You can roll perception for me too. Actually, roll investigation. 20.
Ooh.
Okay. Nothing has really shifted in the room since the last time you were in here. There might be a new layer of dust that's on the table, but nothing has really changed.
Okay.
Mm. No, from what I'm saying, nothing has really caught my eye. So I can't
Alright.
really say.
Nova will jump in. Yeah, this is pretty much the same level of violence we've already seen from him.
That
Well, I guess
explains.
let's get ready to head to Colorado.
Hey, Elias, that explains about the safe room, how he got in.
Yeah, that does.
We found that room
Him
sealed
able to
up.
travel through stuff.
Yeah, he passed right through.
No, I don't think he did. This is DB. Goes, you remember the hole he made in the door?
Think he just punched it through?
No,
Actually, I
that.
have an idea, DB.
Hmm?
Measure how thick that door is up there with you.
Oh.
The door in question is in Colorado.
No. I'm talking about the safe room upstairs with him.
Oh, that door? Okay. Goes,
Yeah.
okay. And he floats over to the door and he begins to scan. The armor plating for this is about 14 inches thick.
Now, how thick do you think that door was in Colorado?
Well, the door is about 2.5 times the size, and likely equally about equally the times thick. I mean, we're if I were to guess, maybe 26, 27 inches of armor.
Maybe there's a limit to how much he can pass through. And he had to destroy the other one to get through, while he just was able to phase through this one.
Maybe it was a material he couldn't phase through.
That
And
too.
he had to maybe he had to destroy it instead. Because the hole that was made through was melted, like it reached a melting point. And Paradox is actually going to do an intelligence. Let's see if he can maybe figure that. That was a save. Save. Okay. He can't figure it out. He's thinking on it and goes, well, it had to melt through the door, but how would it have done that?
I mean, molecular movement can heat up anything. There was an old welding technique to where rubbing two pieces of metal fast enough to each other would bind it.
Do
Wait,
you suppose that vibration trick it does? Do you think maybe he vibrated a hole in the door?
There's that, which he could have done through the material, but there's also the other possibility at which I know the probability of. It's the probability of phasing through something. It's 1 in 5.2 to the 69th power of being able to move through something without any resistance.
Hmm. Well,
So here's the thing, what if he is able to process time fast enough that he can see or push that limit to where it's almost near instantaneous to pass through something?
It's entirely possible. Again, we don't know the nature of wish magic, and it's a pretty safe assumption whatever his power not necessarily comes from, but what was given to him is through wish magic.
Which is cheating.
It is, but it's something that exists in this world, and I would assume that's why the queen wanted it removed.
Yeah.
There's a lot we don't know about him yet, but I'm assuming we're going to learn more as time goes on.
Well, this conversation's happening. I'm still ascending via, like, the...
Yep. I mean, at this point, you've gone back up and you've rejoined the group at this point.
Okay. So, you guys want to head to Colorado?
Yeah. That's our goal.
I'm ready.
Oh, I guess we're going to summon our ships.
All right. So, you guys head back up to the roof and jump aboard your ships, and you do depart out. What time of day are you departing?
We didn't establish when we even left New York.
Well, it was evening when you left, so it's about nighttime in Chicago.
I'd say it'd probably be best to arrive at that town at night.
Okay, yeah, because it's about, let's say, about 10 o'clock at nighttime right now where you're at. So if you were to get there, you'd be arriving there roughly about midnight.
Yeah, and then we can rest there.
Okay. All right. So you do hop back into your respective ships. What? I guess, is there anything you guys want to do during the flight? Are you just gonna take a nap, or is there anything you're going to do?
I'm just going to take a nap.
Okay.
After taking back my fucking cassette player so I can listen to music and fall asleep. Because Ura still has it.
Aw.
You weren't using it!
I was too. You just didn't hear me use it. How's that?
Okay, what songs did you listen to?
I'm not telling you. Make sure
I
to
look
change
at the
playlist.
device itself.
Change
I
it
look
real
at
quick.
the device itself and see if any have been played.
Change
Track
playlist.
1 is still queued up.
Yeah, nah, I know that you hadn't listened to anything.
Fine, here. Thanks, though. I just didn't listen to anything.
Yeah, no, you're not in the right headspace at the moment.
What about my head? No, leave that alone.
I mean,
my brain.
Question. With the decrypting data, is there still some that wasn't able to be fully processed?
We haven't actually done that yet. In
That's why we're going to
Colorado.
Colorado.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. That's what you're gonna do next.
Okay. Then I guess
Okay.
what I'm gonna try and do is see if I can somehow activate that targeting thing that randomly happened before.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He just activates kill mode.
Eyes go red.
I'm trying to
Kill
think
mode.
how. Let's see. Okay. How should we do? I want to do a test.
If you're trying to get him to roll something, I would say either insight or just a straight wisdom roll.
Okay. Do a wisdom roll for me. 16. Okay. You try to focus on a single point. You're trying. You're just focusing on it. You're like trying to like almost like zoom in on a certain point on like on the pad, or not your pad, but on the console of your ship. You're focusing on a button, and you're trying to recreate what it is that you felt in that moment when you hit that perfect shot. and you're kind of like you're trying, and you're wincing your eyes, and you're trying, but nothing's coming up.
Does it only activate when I'm a threat? And does it threat?
We can test it out when we get to Colorado.
Nova also pops in and goes, "It might be a stress-related trigger. It's hard to know, but we'll keep figuring it out."
Hmm. Then I guess I'm just gonna stare at the clouds while we get.
Okay, you're taking in the sights of the flight, just looking out the window, because yeah, like you say, you don't get to travel often, so you're just enjoying the sights right now. All right. So after a short flight, you do arrive into the spot. There's no lights, obviously, since there's no one left in the village there. So you're arriving pretty much into complete darkness. So your ship lights are pretty much the only lights that are illuminating the ground as you're coming in. Do you drop yourselves in, or do you land the ships nearby?
If anything, since the town is abandoned now, we might as well land in the town square.
All right.
3 ships might be a bit big for that. Um,
Is there a
Oh,
structure large enough for me to land on top of?
no. This is a very small village that didn't really have flight ships coming in and out of it like that.
You'd
Well,
have to
no, I
land
mean, like,
outside the
is
gates.
there? Yeah, we might as well land up.
It's the only
Like because
large
like
space.
space-wise, you can maybe land like 2 ships in the square and you'd be able to take off okay, but if you try to squeeze in 3, you might end up bumping something on your way out.
I can just go ahead and just drop in. You guys can land.
Actually, if you two want to land in there, I can land outside the gate. I know the town better. That way you're both in there.
I mean, that works.
All right.
Okay. So, just to clarify, who's going to land their ships in town?
Theo and me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you two land your ships in town, and Eros will land his ship outside town.
Yep. It also
Okay.
gives my character a moment because he's going back to this moment.
Yeah, and DB, it just kind of turns to you too. Goes, are you sure you're okay for this? What happened here was monstrous, and we're still not over a lot of what happened.
I'll manage if I need to. I'll come back out here. But let's just see what they've cleaned up since. Who knows? Maybe we'll find somebody else alive. But that's a big hope. But they need answers, so let's go back in.
DB just kind of nods a little bit to you, and he hops into your back.
I just start walking in.
All right. So where do you guys all meet up in the town square, or where do you want to meet up?
I'm gonna make sure that the area has been cleaned up of the bodies before Eros gets there.
Yeah, I should probably help with that as well.
Just make sure that it's
Sure.
just not.
So everyone make perception checks for me.
Actually, are there any of the Vanguard units still left there?
I was actually gonna discuss that here too, so I'll bring that up here in a second.
It's a good thing
Yes,
I'm
of course.
oblivious, just in case.
24.
Okay.
15.
All right. Yeah. Eros, you're trapped in thought at the moment. You don't
just kinda
really want to look
focused on-
around the town, right? There's a lot of
Just
painful
go-
memories that looking around, seeing the electric burns on the walls, and there's still a smell of charred flesh that is not very settling to your stomach.
Can I turn on
Theo
filter?
and Elias. So the town has been pretty much cleaned up of the dead bodies. They have been respectfully removed and taken away. A lot of the damage to the town is still pretty significant. You do see electric sears across a number of the walls on a number of the buildings.
Mhm.
They're pretty clearly electrical burns. And they skate across the walls of these buildings like it started from one point and carried across to the other side. As far as the forces of the city goes, there is no one left here. Everyone has concluded the investigation. They weren't able to secure all of the children based on the information that you have so far, but there may still be a few that did manage to get out. But if they did, they may have escaped to another local village, or they may have found transport somewhere else. It's impossible to know at the moment.
Do we know of any other small villages around the area?
I'm gonna tell you no, because the Vanguard really operates mostly out in the Eastern European region. So they
Mhm.
don't really operate much in the US. So pretty much in the Americas in general, if there is any villages out there, there's not really any that you know of because they choose not to make themselves known.
Fair enough. Um, when we, since I actually did nap over here, I'm gonna be awake for a while.
Yeah.
Um, when we go ahead and start the decryption process of the data, I actually kind of want to just go fly around the countryside and see if I spot any like possible structures or anything.
Okay.
Like,
So yeah,
given,
we'll have that in the plan there for you when while
yeah,
that's
like
going on.
kind of like 100 to 150 mile radius around this area, like just flying in patterns. Because I'm gonna be awake for a while, apparently.
Yeah. All right. So as you investigate the town, as you are looking back though into where the entrance of the facility is, there's not any noticeable lights turned on either. It seems the power might have been turned off.
I guess I'm gonna go look to turn it on.
Okay. Do all of you follow, or what would you guys like to do?
I mean, all I can really do is follow, as I don't know this area well.
Okay.
I'm just tagging along, kind of still focused on just staying with them right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you guys enter into the dark facility, who all has dark vision?
I do, and I believe Eros.
Don't I?
So Elias is the only one who does not have dark vision.
But I'd
Yes.
still have the light from my ghost, so.
Yep, you
Other
do
than
have
that,
your ghost flashlight, so you still have that.
but other than that, no.
Okay. So
Right, Eros, how do you have Matrix?
They're
How do you have
awoken.
dark vision? Oh, right.
Yeah, it's part of my.
yeah,
I forgot about
he's
that
awoken.
too. So I don't need the light. I forgot all about it. I was like, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Meager reminded me.
All right. So does everyone go in with their flashlights on?
Hmm.
It'd probably be best if only if Elias went in with his light on first. We can kind of follow using ours the way they are for right now, unless we absolutely need to, just for safety's sake.
I'd
Maybe.
say, how about you two try to be stealthy?
Ha! You're asking a Titan to be stealthy.
Okay. How about this? I'll go first,
Okay,
and I'll be
hold
stealthy.
on. Before we all go in, how about one of y'all take the lead and I try to be stealthy?
I'm fine with taking the lead.
Yeah, Titan. We can be
Let me go back
stealthy.
and try to
We could try.
be stealthy. Would I get advantage or not?
I'm gonna say you're not gonna have advantage. It's just gonna be a regular check.
Yeah, I'll roll it in.
So okay. All right.
And
So
I'm the one with the
you said it was
so-
Eros going in first.
No, I am Theo.
Yeah, let Theo go in
Theo's
first.
gonna go in first. All right. Theo, make your stealth for me.
Am
I
I
don't think
actually?
he's being stealthy.
I mean, I could try. I'm just gonna have disadvantage.
I'll
Oh,
yeah,
well, I
if
mean,
you-
okay,
He's wearing heavy
so-
armor.
Well, okay. So I mean, it's just if the other two are going in stealthy, it's just I'm not sure.
It just gives only one target at this point, if anything
Yeah.
happens. And then I figure I'll stick close to Theo. If anything does happen, I can step up too and try and help.
I mean,
Okay.
do you
If
still wish me
anything
to
comes
roll?
out,
I mean, if you want to, it's only if you do want to do stealth, because if not, that's fine. I want to understand the situation.
And I don't think I'll be able to do stealth the way so now.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so you start making your way down a long corridor, and as you're walking down there, these doors along the hallway here are pretty much wide open, and as you walk across them, right now you're just seeing little offices. There's shelves that were there. There's some desks, but just like a lot what you're seeing at the Genesis Corporation Tower in Chicago, it's pretty much been tossed. There's papers just strewn all about. Some of these papers are extremely old and they're just tattered to time. Um, and at the moment, um, not too terribly much. You're not seeing where the power source is going to be here just yet. And as you continue along, you make your way to a large tunnel, and you do see a light coming from the end of this tunnel. Make a perception check for me.
All
All
of
right.
us or just him?
Just him, because
20.
he's leading. Okay. So there looks like there's some sunlight coming through this doorway.
Sunlight.
The light
Oh.
that you're seeing it looks like sunlight to you. Do you walk to it?
I guess I'll give them like a signal that I see something before I proceed.
Okay, so you stop and point out the light to the others.
Yeah.
DB chimes in. This is the tunnel to their what was it? The garden?
I was just
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
that.
the garden.
I wanted to be sure. I was going to ask, is this the tunnel that leads out to the big garden area? That's like, I answered that. Okay.
I just call over to Urus or the radio. Do we want to try to approach the door stealthily again? And like,
I mean,
brief and
you
clear?
guys are right next to each other. I mean, I'm not sure why you're
Yeah,
calling on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, you know what I mean. Talking to each other in like a really low whisper.
Okay.
At this point, I don't remember any sunlight, but
And the power should be out too.
yes, but this was a self-generating garden in a way. It would produce its own. Maybe it's got its own light. It looks
Yeah,
like
but
sunlight.
it would still need the generator though.
DB chimes in. Independent power source?
Could be.
No,
Let's stay
if they-
stealth. I agree.
If the
Let's stay
Vanguard
stealth.
turned everything off, then they would have turned that off too.
If they knew how to.
Can I try to reroll stealth just to like make sure I'm not fucking clinking around?
Yeah, you can re-roll it one more time for me.
Nope. I fucking trip.
Yeah, you take a step forward and you stub your toe and you end up falling flat.
Silent facepalm.
I just go, good to the fucking door then.
Am I still
I'm a
stealth at
walk.
this point? Because
I'm just gonna walk.
So as this loud clang echoes through the hallways from Visor faceplaying, Elias faceplaying, excuse me. You hear a bit of a rustle coming from the room with the light. Sounds like
Gun ready.
leaves rustling.
Go, get in there.
Run.
Okay. You guys take off running, and you kick open the door, and you see a small figure, a small hooded figure, take off running.
Go after it.
Book it.
Yeah. Yell out,
Okay.
wait, please, wait. Who are you? That's all I'm going to say.
All right, so here's how this is gonna work. This is gonna be a bit of a chase scene here. Now, let's see. So who's leading here? It's Megu. Or
It's
you're gonna
still
be
me.
leading up front, right? Okay.
Yep,
So
I'm still
you're
leading.
leading the charge. She's gonna be, well, this figure here, excuse me, is gonna be about 60 feet in front of you, and you're about matching speed in running.
Yes. I believe so.
All right. Are you going? You do have the option to take a shot. Do you want to take a warning shot, or do you? What would you like to do with your action? Because you're within range to at least do something.
I don't want to take a shot because if they're not an enemy, I don't want to like hurt them or scare them even more.
Okay.
So if anything, like probably like whisper shout, like we just want answers or something.
Okay, so you just want to take your action to kind of yell out. Make a persuasion check for me.
Okay, I believe with this I actually have advantage considering it's to a person that's not hostile.
Yep.
Persuasion. Wow.
Natural 1.
But it was with advantage, so it's a 10.
All right, so
Oh.
yep, you it's a 10, but it unfortunately is still a failure.
Oh, you
So-
with advantage?
Yeah. So you
Dang.
yell out, "Wait, we're just trying to help," and this figure turns back and just yells out, "No, you work for him."
Can I actually try something?
You can on your turn. So Theo, that is gonna be the end of your turn right there. You don't want to do anything else.
I don't want to shoot, so I guess that's my turn.
Okay, so you're gonna stay in pursuit, and you're just gonna keep running with her. All right. Who was gonna be behind? Because this is not really gonna
Oh,
be like
shoot.
initiative for
Oh, yeah.
combat per se. So who is gonna be
Yeah,
behind?
was it you or me?
Hold on.
Wiser?
Let's make a quick decision. We're both. How about we both roll a d20 and see who rolls higher?
Do it.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I like it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Wait, why did it roll 2 for me? What the fuck?
You
still
rolled
would
2
have.
there,
You
buddy.
still,
Okay, hold
yeah,
on,
but
hold
you
on.
still, I would.
Yeah, you're gonna win anyway because
Yeah, you still gotta-
Matrix
I
they're just
count
rolling
that-
out. All right, so
I'm counting the first
Alright.
dice anyway. I just said no. You go.
that's fine. All right, Elias, you're up.
As hearing the voice, I'm gonna take off my helmet and I go, "We're actually Vanguard. Jin is alive."
Make a persuasion check.
Would it be 15?
15.
And
Please.
literally, I'm just. Is it Jin or Jan, the person that we
Jin.
saved?
Yeah, Jin is the guy that was saved. All right. Hearing that name, she does stop and tosses off her hood. It's a young female. Young, looks about 14, blonde hair.
I just
And
tell
just-
Theo to stop.
And goes, "He's alive?"
Yeah, we got here in time to rescue him. I was actually one of the people that performed first aid until we got here and transported him to the last city. I'm just slowly walking toward her. Like, I've even set down my gun. like with my hands
She's
up.
holding it defensively. She's holding a rifle up defensively to you.
I literally
Okay.
show her that I'm putting down my gun and I have my helmet off with my hands up. I'm just talking to her.
I guess I'm gonna stay put. Like, I'm apparently the threat here, so
Yeah, you were the one chasing.
Does she see me at all yet?
She sees all three of you,
Okay.
but she's pointing the gun at Elias as he's the one moving up towards her. She's holding it defensively, and she's stepping back quite slowly.
Would she know who I am? Because I was at the village before.
Let me actually
Because
see.
I did walk through
She's
the
kind
town.
of locked it in a moment right now, so.
No, because I had my helmet on. She can't see my face, so.
Yep, and with that intelligence roll, I'm gonna say no. She's not gonna remember you right now because she's kind of panicked.
Okay.
Do I remember how many of the children's Nikon said were alive?
We didn't get an
4.
accurate number of how many were alive. We got a number of how many we did manage to find.
That
There
was
were still
4.
4 of them that were unaccounted for. But they did manage to find. If I remember, I believe it was 8. I have to pull my notes on that again. I believe it was 8 children were saved.
I'm just gonna tell her we found the 8 children. They're at an orphanage. Jan knows that they're alive. Jin, sorry.
There you go.
Jin is in the hospital. He was hurt. He barely survived. I'm just talking to her of everything that I know about. There's still 4 children missing. I don't know if you're one of them. And we only came back here to process data when we seen the light.
Can I step forward now and take my helmet off and just ask her?
Yeah, and all of you make a perception check.
Perception?
Yeah, perception.
Where is it? Oh, there it is.
25 on my part.
I got 19.
Okay.
17.
Hey.
All right. All of you do see this. As she's holding the rifle, her hands are shaking, and she steps back and goes, "Who are all of you?
I'm
What
Elias.
are your names?"
I'm Elias, and I actually stop walking toward her, and I just get down on both knees, like in the way that the warlocks normally sit in game. Show her that I'm not gonna come toward her anymore.
Okay.
I just come up next to Elias, still standing there. I am Yoros, Shale. I came to your village.
She nervously turns the barrel to you as you talk, Uros,
Not even.
but she's listening to you.
Yeah, the people here were kind to me. Jack, everyone here.
It'd probably help if you took off your helmet.
I already did.
Oh.
Yeah, he said he
didn't hear
did.
that.
Yep, I heard it. It was
We're
okay.
not here to hurt you. We're here to try and help.
And I guess I'll take a warrior's name. And I'm Theo.
These are my
All right.
friends. They're here to help.
Uros, make a persuasion with advantage.
Persuasion. I haven't had to make one in a while. Oh, here it is. I'm looking down the list.
12. Okay.
Not very high.
She lowers the rifle just a little bit and goes, "I remember you. You came to the village for help.
Yes.
My father took care of your sparrow."
Oh God, I can't remember his name.
And she pulls off the mask that covered the front of her face, and you see the rest of her face, and she looks quite young. She goes, "I'm Amelia Allen. My father was the mechanic here. You knew him as Mr. Allen?"
Mr. Allen was the one who gave me my sparrow, which I still have. I'm grateful for
She
that.
nods. And she's starting to kind of come back down from the adrenaline, and she's starting to kind of calm down, and she kind of gets a little weary. Like,
I take a few steps forward slowly. Just slowly, nothing.
She finds a rock to sit down on, and she puts the rifle in front of her barrel up, and she just holds it and she sits down. Why are all of you here?
We came to find data. I
Yes.
came to see the data as well, but hope that, and I reach out and just gently touch her shoulder to find others still alive.
She just looks at the ground quietly. I'm the only one that's left here. I hid out in the forest, and I was lucky it didn't burn it down.
I'm sorry.
She just kind of squeezes the barrel of her gun a little bit and goes, "There's nothing anyone did to stop."
Do you know if
And
anybody else?
she kind of just jabs the ground with the butt of her gun, just. Couldn't save my father. And she just kind of sits up a little bit and goes, "I don't know if the computers still work, but you're welcome to try."
We can take you back to a safe place where the other survivors are.
And I'm gonna hop in right here. I can even let you talk to Jin to prove that he is still alive.
Yes, he is.
Both of you make a persuasion.
I gotta find that one. There it is.
I fucking failed somehow.
Don't worry, you're not the only one.
Would this be with advantage by any chance?
You have a better chance.
Because it's
Better
both
me.
of us trying?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say even with advantage, you would have failed anyway.
Oh.
She just kind of shakes her head and goes, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here."
I mean, that's fair. But would you still like to talk to Jin at all?
She kind of looks to the ground again and goes, "It's fine. He doesn't really remember me much anyway. He should be protecting those children."
When he gets better, when he can actually walk again, he will be.
She's looking around at the rest of you. Uros, was it?
Yes.
My father thought highly of you. For the short time that he knew you, anyway.
He was a good man. I'm sorry. I failed to protect all these people here.
She just starts examining her gun, goes, "He started the village. He killed all of them. He wanted them to know that he..." And her hands start shaking again as she's examining the gun, but this is how she's trying to keep her focus, is by examining the weapon. He called himself the bringer of salvation. The doom of all worlds, God's deliverance. He says he's GODHAND. And he would... And everyone make a perception for me.
Not 20.
20.
Okay.
Way better than me.
Okay. Even with 13, all of you see this. She's tearing up as she says this. He wanted to know who it... He wanted for all of them to know who it was who killed them. She loads a fresh clip into her rifle and she cocks it back and just it's a loud just and she puts the rifle back down. And
I
goes,
kind of
"Hey,"
reach out and tilt it away from her face. I go, don't point that at yourself, please.
Right. Sorry.
We're hunting him down.
How do you think you're gonna kill him?
We're figuring that out along the way.
We just know that he can be harmed. So that's why we're not stopping.
I just have Paradox pull up some of the footage of him being hurt in that firefight with us. Showing her that he can be hurt.
She
And-
looks at it for a moment, but she shakes her head and goes, "Village shot him." Oh.
Yeah. But
He
just
shook
have
off
to keep
bullets
hitting.
like he shook off bullets like a duck shakes off water off its ears. What he is something.
He's
beyond.
inhuman.
He's beyond any of you. I know what
Unlike-
you Guardians are. I know what you're full of, but even the stories of the warlords pale in comparison to what this is. The warlords were tyranny, but this is monstrous. How do you think you could beat something?
Called being the light in the dark. Even when everything else seems hopeless, being that last bit that still stands up and fights.
DB will actually kind of step up to and goes, "We have to fight because it's what we have to do. We don't have a choice in the matter anymore. If we want to preserve the world that we want to live in, we have to fight for it. If that means taking on, well, even a god himself, we have to do it. Not by choice, but because we have to. And we will accomplish what we want to do because we can. We're guardians. We've beaten back enemies so much stronger than humanity. We fought against impeccable odds. We'll do it again.
One thing I'm gonna do real quick is actually stand up and go shut that door, just so it's actually shut.
And
So-
as
As that happens, Amelia does take in what DB says, and she just nods solemnly.
as the stories always go, even in the darkest of voids, in the center of it all, there's always that shining glimmering of hope, of the light. And the light always prevails within the end. And that is what we live up to. And that is why we Guardians fight. All that we need is belief.
She stands up slowly, and she looks to you, and she's short. She's maybe 5'4", and she maybe comes up to, I guess, where you're about. I suppose about when you're kneeling down, probably about your height, and just kind of meets you at eye level, and goes, "You have to be. We don't have much hope left anymore." She points to the door and goes, "The computer terminals that you're going to want to look at will be over here. See about helping you getting power back on. Dad taught me a few things about mechanics around here."
I guess I'll just lead the way out the door and down the hall with my gun.
She picks up the rifle, and she's carrying it at the ready, and she starts kind of leading the way herself. Like, she's leading her way back to where the core of the facility would be. So she's shining her light. She's got the rifle up, using the rifle light to light her way.
One thing I am gonna do before heading deeper into the facility, I still have that fallen trip mine. Can I go and set it, but have it to where it's like a stun instead of like a instant frag grenade? Or like it would set off an alarm in a sense?
Yeah, so you want to maybe turn it into like an electric trap or something?
Yeah, in a sense. Not to where it would kill, but stun somebody if they tried to come through.
I'll say because you have enough knowledge of enemy technology that you will be able to do that.
Okay, I just want to set that in the kind of like in between the paneling of the armored door, like aiming through the little tunnel that was melted through. So if somebody tried to walk through, it would activate and shock them.
Okay. So are you going into the room first before you set that trap?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna be inside the vault. Like this is
Okay.
at the very
What-
entrance, like separating our ships in the vault.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to understand. So you're splitting off from the party then to go investigate the vault?
I thought we were already in the vault.
No, she's taking you down to the core room where the power is.
Okay, so
I mean, if you want to split off, that's fine. I just want to understand. If
yeah,
that's what
I
you
was
wanna
gonna
do.
split off and go back toward like the entrance.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm just trying to understand
Yeah.
what's happening. So okay.
And then I'm just gonna come back and link up with them.
Yeah,
Okay.
we do want to ask, while he's doing that, and me and I'm guessing Earls are walking with Emma?
Amelia.
Amelia. While we're walking with Amelia, because I do want to kind of cheer her up, so you are the daughter to the man that used to run here?
Yeah. She's walking as she says that. He was the town mechanic.
Well, if I know anything about a bit of tradition, that would make you the head of said mechanic household.
As you're saying this, you make your way over to a console, and she begins tapping away onto the console. And he goes, I don't have his expertise. I only know the little bit that I was able to learn from him. He was alive.
That's the thing. There is always much more to learn. And since you are still standing, you are still a shining light towards that goal of learning and helping others. Even if you wish to stay here instead of coming with us to another safe area, you can still help rebuild, gather people who are lost to this home of yours, and help them, to which they might be able to help you as well.
Actually,
Be a shining light for those that are lost, even to someone
She
as young as
she
you.
she stops tapping on the console and she turns to you and goes, "How much pain have you experienced in your life, sir? Have you lost family?"
I'm gonna kneel down to her level, and I guess in a whisper, I have lost memories.
Do you think
That
that does that hurt? Lose your memories?
I cannot tell. Emotions kind of fade at that point. But I know that I have a duty so that I can be a hope for those that cannot fight. And that is why I still stand. And with my constant battles I've gone through, I can tell a person's heart. You have a noble and kind heart, and I feel it.
She
Let
turns
that
back to the console and slowly starts pressing buttons again.
so you can heed the wordings of a stranger and be a shining beacon to help others that are lost and spread your honest and kind heart or fade, or better yet, do what you feel is right.
It was Theo, yeah? She looks back up at you.
That's what I go by.
You might be right. But in the moment, and she continues to work on the console, and you're hearing little beeps as she continues to work. She goes, "I've spent so much of my life just tinkering, rebuilding, fixing. Father hated it. I'd always break everything in the house, and he would make me put it back together the way it was. And I struggled with it a lot. Hated him for it sometimes. And I was in here, heading to the garden, when I started to hear them scream. I ran it up into the trees. Hid. And come down for I don't know how long. I there's no way to tell when it's day or night inside here. It's almost always day and inside the garden. But I I slept up in the trees for days and feasted on the fruit while I hid. I couldn't stop them, Theo. Does that make me a coward?
No, because knowing when you're a coward is enough for anyone. Because it takes guts to admit that you are.
But I should have been there with. I should have. And she starts to tear up as she says, I should have tried to at least save him. I couldn't.
I'll put a hand on her head. But I'm not sure that's what he would have wanted. He would have wanted you safe. And I'm sure he's still watching you from above. Or from probably right next to you. And I'm sure that he's proud of the girl that he raised.
She wipes the tears away from her eyes and just says, thank you.
Above game, real quick. I'm actually not returning to the room.
What are you doing?
I'm about to call over the radio. I was waiting for the conversation to end.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah, it's kind of wrapped up here, so go ahead.
I'm gonna call over the radio to Theo and Eros. Do y'all mind putting me on like speaker so Amelia can hear me?
I'll put speaker on as I'm closer.
Yep. Nova can relay the radio through a little speaker that he's got, so he's relaying the message.
Basically, I'm just gonna ask her, does she know of any other villages or towns in the area that any other survivors might have gone to? Because excluding her, there are 3 people still missing.
She is still kind of drying her eyes, and she's looking at Nova, addressing you, Elias, in this moment, and goes, there is a small village. It's a few hundred miles to the south, kind of out in the desert. I've never been there before. Don't know exactly where it is. I know it's south.
During all this, as your I kind of slip out of the room and just walk back down to the garden and stay down there for just kind of looking at it.
DB kind of pops out of your backpack and goes, what's on your mind?
Just what she was saying, everything that's going on. I'm having that moment where I'm having to handle myself, keep my emotions, keep the focus on the moment. But this is the moment, so I am just taking the moment to breathe, to look out here for a bit, think.
Well, I know you're upset, and I know it's not easy to think about what's happening, but your head's in the clouds. We need you here, around here with us.
That's what they needed, DB, and I wasn't here. Sorry, I am trying to be grounded, but right now I just need a moment to breathe.
We all need a moment to breathe. That's not it. And DB just kind of moves in and goes, like, I know it's difficult losing people. Fortunately, as a guardian, this is something that we're facing a lot. And I know it really hurts you, and these people meant a lot to you. I get that. But right now, the best way to serve them, to serve their memory, is we gotta beat this son of a bitch. And I know you're angry, and I know it hurts, but focus that anger. How would I put this? You need to gain your edge back. He's what the God Hand said, what he's done, he's gotten into your head, and he's basically setting up real estate. He's gonna sit in your head, and he's gonna constantly be a source of nothing but pain. And until you're able to let that go, he's gonna hold that over you until the day he either we beat him or he beats us. I trust in you, and I believe in you that you can do it. Prove me right, yeah?
I can only.
And he kind of nudges your shoulder just a touch. We got this.
It's just, why was I brought back? Is this from a past thing? Is this supposed to happen every time?
I can assure you, this is not an ordinary Guardian story.
Nope.
This is anything but. But I also believe that you are brought back for a reason. And maybe it was for this. Maybe this is the challenge that you were meant to rise up from.
What, to watch them be all dead in a pile, be crumpled up, and I'm getting a little louder as I'm saying it because I'm getting angry.
And DB is just, he's sitting calmly right in front of you and goes, "No."
Then what?
Maybe it's up to you to rise up and to beat him.
I don't know if I'm strong enough. I failed all these people, and I'm yelling, and it's echoing this place. I know it has to be.
Be that as it may, do you have any idea how many people all the Guardians have failed over the years? How many died at 6 fronts? You know how many people we failed then? Do they mean nothing?
I don't know. I wasn't here for any of it.
But the point is that loss, it is a normal thing. But what isn't normal is what is attacking, what we're up against. And yes, it's going to require probably more than we can offer, but nonetheless, we have to fight. Because if we don't fight, we lose everything. And I'm not about to lose everything, especially to no stupid speedster that. And he's trying to find an insult, but he can't think of anything.
Quoting Elias, a dumbass fucking name.
I want to be Sonic the Hedgehog, you know, there you go. I don't even know who that is, but hey, no, it's yours.
By the way, above game, I'm pretty much just asking Amelia who would know, like, where I might find a map in, like, whose home I would, of finding that other location.
She does point you to the... getting it. Where is it? Oh, Jordan. Jordan was one of the hunters that mapped out the area, and so he points you to Jordan River's house. He has maps from the areas that he hunts.
Mm-hmm.
She just says that might give you at least some idea, at least some lay of the land, but she doesn't know how far he's traveled because she's not a hunter. She's never did it before.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna go find their home and figure it out.
Okay. She tells you which house it is outside, and it's one of the houses along the outskirts. It's got a noticeable detail to it, and she tells you how to recognize it, so you'll be able to go to it pretty easily.
Okay. So I'm gonna basically head outside and then activate the trap, and that way I'm outside and they're inside. I'm gonna tell them that yes, there is a fucking trap, so beware when you're trying to go through the door.
Paradox just announced to the group, trap placed.
And I guess I'm gonna go find this guy's home.
Okay. Make an investigation check for me.
8. So it's gonna take me a little bit to find it.
Okay. So yeah, the place is it's been ransacked. Drawers have been ripped out and tossed. There's a stack of papers on a table that is kind of off in the corner. What would you like to do first?
I'll go investigate the untouched stack.
Okay. Make one more investigation for me.
Barely any better.
Okay. So you start going through the stack. It looks like these are journal notes. From and you refresh my. You do read English, yes?
I'm not Uro, so yes.
I'm just trying to remember. Okay, so yeah, you're able to read it. It's mostly notes on what was hunted, what dates and when and how much. It's kind of just like a hunting log. Mentions getting a couple of deer on one day. Couple of there's mentions of ducks. Couple of geese. Just various different hunting logs, and then towards the bottom of the stack, you do see kind of a worn map. That does map out the local region. And as you study the map, it does roughly cover the area from if you're kind of looking it over. If you were to eyeball it and kind of guesstimate the number of miles around, it's roughly maybe a 60-mile range, like circling the center of the town.
All right. I guess I'm just gonna announce to the crew I'm gonna try to head to that town and see if anybody made it there, because she may think it might be a few hundred miles, but it might just be a few dozen, and somebody might have made it there.
Where are you at in all this?
I'm outside.
Okay. Where's everybody else? Are you all together?
I'm by the door with Emilia.
Okay. Yeah, so Amelia is with you guys, and she shakes her head. No, it's a few hundred miles. I don't know exactly where it is. I just know that it's south, roughly about 200 some miles. And she kind of looks down, and are you holding the map at all by chance, or are you?
No, I'm nowhere near them. I'm inside that guy's house. They're
Okay.
inside the vault.
Okay, then never
Yeah,
mind.
he's
I
still down at the cave.
wreck on that. I thought you guys were all together outside.
No, like Uros is in the
I'm in the
garden
cave,
area.
yeah.
Theo's with her at the computer, and I'm outside.
Okay.
So this is happening over radio.
Okay, but yeah, you do hear over the radio that she says, no, that the town is over a few hundred miles. I just don't know exactly where. It's over 200, and it's to the south.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna go start that search pattern then.
Okay. So who's going to the computer core to decrypt the data?
I will.
Okay. So Amelia will lead you back to the computer room. She did manage to reroute the power that goes to the garden and reroute some of it to the computer core. So as you make your way back to it, you do hear the low hum of computers as they start to warm up.
All right.
And she opens up another console. She taps on the keys a couple of times, and she goes, "Do you have a drive to put in?"
Nova.
Gotcha. And Nova, he materializes the drives. Now, Elias, did you ever hand over the thumb drives to Theo at all, or do you have them on your?
They would
Okay.
actually be on me.
Okay.
Before I leave, I guess I'll leave them in either Uros or Theo's ship before I leave.
Okay. So we've got a couple options. You've got the 35 terabyte data dump to do first, or you can start with the 3 thumb drives. Which did you guys want to decrypt first? I'm sorry, it was
And-
24 terabytes. I misspoke.
And that
just
would be on YouTube because I'm traveling.
Hmm.
Nova pops in and says that the 24 terabytes is going to take at least half a day. The thumb drives, depending on what's on them and the decryption algorithm needed, it might take a few hours apiece.
Then we can probably work on the drives first. Although that could be a bit risky as we don't really know what could be on them.
We don't, but Nova just kind of looks over and goes, well, it might be easier to analyze the data on the drives while we wait for the bigger data to decrypt. I'd say let's go with the drives.
Alright?
And Nova turns back over to Amelia and he uses his shell to kind of like gently kind of push the thumb drives over to her, and she just kind of like slowly grabs them, just kind of smiling at the ghost, and she inserts the 3 drives into different USB ports, and she begins to tap on the console again. Theo, I'm going to need some additional light. Can you grab the lamp that's over on the other side of you?
Sure. I'll go ahead and grab that then.
All right, so you grab it, you bring it over, and the lights. She brings the light source over to the keyboard, and this keyboard is bigger than your standard keyboard. There's some additional keys on here that you're not even familiar with. But she begins tapping away on this thing, like quite effortlessly.
One thing I want to do real quick. Hey Theo, could you ask Amelia a question real quick?
Sure. What do you mean?
Ask her of all the names of the kids that she knew, like in the town.
Amelia.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the names of all the kids that were in this town?
I knew the few that I was friends with. I wasn't friends with all the kids though. Daniel, Brian, and James, those are my 3 main friends.
Having hearing that, can I look at the reports of the kids that were saved and see if those 3 names were 3 kids that were saved?
Yes. So Daniel and James, their names were on the roster of kids that were discovered.
And who was the one that wasn't?
Brian.
Brian? Alright, so that's one name to search for. This is gonna sound like or to have a favor be done. I'm gonna have like a call put into like the orphanage so she could at least talk to her friends. At least set up a line of communication between the 3 of them.
Okay.
Just have that done while I'm in transit.
Yeah, it'll take some time to set up the communication, but it's something that can be done in the meantime. So, okay.
If I guess as a bit of a request, you can try passing that to my helmet, and I can give it to them.
Well, yeah, I might just contact Nikon and see if he can do that.
Okay. And did you have a specific contact at the orphanage, like a name of someone that you would work with?
I mean, I've probably worked with the orphanage enough times that I could probably just contact the desk.
Well, right, but is there a name of someone in particular that you know of that like maybe someone you trust or anything like that?
Not really. I'd probably just trust all of them at that point.
Okay, but
there's not any one particular person. I'd just contact somebody that Since it's nighttime where I am, where is the last city that you're putting it in this universe?
It's in like the Eastern European region, kind of where
Oh,
it would be at in the actual game itself, like in the Eastern European Russian kind of region.
okay, so it'd be probably about a morning time there.
Yeah.
I
Well,
would
actually, like, because it's about midnight where you're at, so probably a bit more about midday there. Probably about right
I'd
now.
probably call who would ever probably be on shift at that time, like
Okay.
knowing that they're working.
Okay. So, you get Julia,
I'm just gonna
and
wait.
you know you've met Julia before. She's brunette hair in her 40s. She's been kind of a bit of a mother to a lot of the children in the orphanage. She's like the bit of the mom. So she's on the line and goes, "Oh, Elias, hello. How can I help you?"
Um, hey, it was Daniel and Brian, right?
Daniel
Daniel
and
and
James.
yeah,
Daniel and James. Sorry, I'm terrible with names wording it for the first time. Is there two kids named Daniel and James still there that were brought in from the incident in the U.S. area?
Them. Yes. They are here. They're kind of being taken care of as far as antisocial issues at the moment. We're trying to help them out. Is there anything you need from them? They
Um,
were being interviewed by the Vanguard already regarding what happened. I don't know if they can have any more information to tell you.
not anything bad, but I might be able to lift their spirits a little bit.
Oh.
Go grab them and put them on the line for me.
Um. All right. Bear with me just a moment. And she it's about a couple of minutes on here, but she does the camera does kind of follow back over to a room there, and you do see two children sitting on beds there, and they kind of look over and goes, Elias, they can hear you if you want to relay your message.
Um, Actually, it won't be me relaying the message, and I am looking at them through the camera and everything. And I'm going to patch in Theo's point of view.
All
it's
right,
coming through
so
clear.
So they can see Amelia,
Yeah,
and so Amelia can see them.
we're kind of making like a big
A conference
big,
call in a
big
sense.
a big conference holographic call here. So um as this snaps on, the view does snap over to Amelia. She's working on the console, and she kind of looks over, and her eyes kind of widen, and she she just Jim, Dan, and you hear the two boys gasp and go, "Ame, you all right?" And like Amelia, can't believe it. Are you okay? And she goes, "Yeah, I'm fine. I It's a long story. I'm helping these guys right now. Are you guys safe?" And you hear one of the boys go, "Yeah, they're taking care of us. They're helping us. A lot better than we thought they'd be." Amelia just she kind of turns to the visual and goes, "You guys sit tight. I'm gonna handle this, okay?" And the other boy goes, "Please come back, please." She kind of stops for a moment and she goes, "I'll see you soon," and just kind of nods and turns back to the console, and the feed cuts.
well,
I
when
just
it's
thank Julia for helping me out with that.
Julia responds, "And absolutely." And she kind of moves away from the door and she goes, "I've heard what's happened. Are you okay?"
It's been a nightmare. I can't really go into the details, but I got the shit knocked out of me.
"Oh dear. Well,
But
You stay safe out there.
But we're searching, or I am in particular, searching for the last of the 3 kids that are missing. So
She nods into the video and goes, "Yeah, forces the city did what they could. Uh, we'll do what we can. If you find any more children, we'll be more than happy to take them in. Um, by the way, do want to thank you for the additional support. We are building the new orphanage here soon. We should be able to take in more children. Hopefully not too much more here so quickly, but we should be able to take in more here really soon."
that's good to know.
Was there anything else I could help you with?
No, that's just really it. If you could really just gather a name of any of the children that they know that haven't shown up, that could help me out. Know who I'm at least searching for.
I think I can speak to them and see if I can get some more information. I'll speak with them and see what I can find for you.
Thank you very much.
She nods into it and goes, "Take care, dearie."
Thank you. And at that, click.
All right.
And back on our side, well, it seems you are already a beacon of hope for some.
She kind of she's not exactly receptive to that. She goes, "I need to be now. I was like a big sister to those two. Or I didn't have a brother growing up. I was an only child. They were closest thing to brothers that I ever had. And now with their parents gone, I guess it's up to me now." She takes a deep breath and just sits back in the chair, and you see the decryption process is going on the monitors, so you're pretty much in waiting at this point. She just sits back and just like, "I never asked for any of this."
No one does, and yet we have to adapt to it.
She just kind of starts kind of just thinking quietly and just kind of rubbing her fingers kind of together in thought. Meanwhile, Uros,
Mm,
your garden chat, how you feeling?
Still yelling at your ghost.
probably. No, at this point, I just became quiet and just kind of closed my eyes. I have my one of my daggers out in my hand, just sitting there, just kind of like flipping it around a little bit, feeling it.
Okay, so do you kind of take a nap sitting in the trees there?
I'm just kind of sitting there, not really, yeah, kind of sitting, I guess. Just kind of flipping the knife around in my hand. And I figure I'd just try and play around with the psychokinesis a little bit with my eyes closed and just have it lift out of my hand and kind of flipping it around to see what I can do. And then I open up one eye while I'm doing it, just to see what I'm doing.
Okay.
Just kind of amusing myself, I
Um,
guess, to kind of get my mind away from the negative.
Yeah. So you're focusing on the knife. You are able to lift it. You're not really spinning it or anything. You've been able to at least lift it up off the palm of your hand. And it's kind of just floating above your hand as you're starting to just practice and master this craft.
Yeah.
but it's giving you this kind of like Zen focus. It's giving you something to kind of ease your mind as you're doing this.
And that's what I want to use it as like a focus point and just sit there and just do that for a few moments.
Okay. So Elias, as you have split from the party, you flew off to get an overhead view, see if you can find the village.
Yeah, heading south.
Okay. So it's gonna be about sunrise here within an hour or two. Are you gonna use the sunlight, and are you gonna wait for the sunrise, or are you gonna kind of go in for a night flight? It'd be like
During
very,
night
very
flight
early
because
morning.
they might have lights on.
Okay.
Make it easier to spot.
Okay. Yeah, because you're gonna have roughly about 2 hours of night before it's gonna turn daytime. So okay. All right. So as you do make your flight over, uh make two separate investigation checks.
Investigation.
Yeah.
Or would it be perception though? Because I'm looking.
We'll do either perception or investigation of your choice, whichever you want.
14 and a 23.
Okay. So your first pass over, you don't really see anything as you're flying over. It's pretty much darkness, and you're avoiding any fallen detection that you do see on the radar that is kind of it's a little ways out.
Mm-hmm.
You're careful to avoid trying to get detected. You fly low to avoid any radar detection. Your second flyover. I guess my question to you is how far out do you fly from
I guess
the
I'm
base?
starting at like 150 going out to 300. Because
Going up
she
to
said it was
300?
at least 200.
Okay. All right, so you do manage to find what looks like a small facility. It looks like a warehouse of some kind, just like kind of sitting out in the middle of nowhere. Just this big building.
Hmm. Can I see if like there are any roads leading to it or anything?
The roads that you see are dirt. There's some clear pathways that you like, clear like walkways that you would see, but um it's pretty worn out.
I'm gonna land a little bit of ways and slowly make my way over.
All right. Make let's see. So you're dropping into just outside, and you're making a slow approach to it.
Yeah, about 300 yards out.
Okay. So as you do that, that paradox pops into your helm, just audio, and goes, "What exactly are we looking for?"
The village that she mentioned that was to the south. And what if it's not a village but an underground facility?
Well, I mean, if we're looking for the children, that's one thing, but this, like, what is this?
No idea. That's why I'm stopping. Because where would be the perfect place to hide a village other than underground?
Eh, fair point. So
I
as you
mean,
make your approach, this building, it's just like a large rectangle, just like kind of sitting out in the desert. It's maybe you've seen the size of missile silos, so you know how large a missile silo is.
mm-hmm.
This is like six of them just like stacked together.
Hmm.
This is
Like,
it's a huge square building. It's not like an aircraft hangar though. This is it's different.
Can I see if there's like been activity on it recently?
Um, so with the perception that you have, just making the passover, looking at it itself, this building doesn't seem to have any structural damage on the outside. It does look like it's pretty like sandblasted, and any paint that might have been on the sides of it has been just ripped away to time.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was any paint on it, it's been just sandblasted right off this thing.
All right. Can I tell if there's been like any dust moved on any of the doors or anything?
Make another perception for me.
Already? 15.
15. So you're able to approach what you believe to be blast doors, and it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of activity, but the way, because you're out in the desert here in this particular area, so it's hard to tell if there's really been a whole lot of dust movement, because a simple windstorm could have blown any evidence of that away.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna try to go up to it and unlock the door, or open the door. Like,
Okay.
see if it's like rigged to an alarm or anything first.
Okay, so as you do approach the door, a little red light does pop on above the door, and you hear over a little speaker, identify yourself.
Elias, guardian of the last city.
Why are you here, Guardian of the Last City?
Um, Searching for a village that I was told about from another village up north. In search of some children that were lost after it was attacked.
We haven't found anyone here. You're not welcome here, Guardian.
Can I ask what the hell this facility is?
This is our home.
I'm literally just trying to find this kid's friends. I don't want trouble.
Make a persuasion.
Do 10. Yep, didn't work.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, it did. He goes, no one has come here, and you people are not welcome here.
What do you mean by you people?
Just what I said. You people.
Well, I just tried to find some kids, but that's it. Because, yeah, if you know about the village up north, it got wiped out, so good luck if you find the
Wait,
people that,
wait. What? Who got wiped out?
you know, the village that was 200 and, how far am I? 200 miles south of the
Yeah,
village?
you're roughly. I mean, your guesstimate, it's roughly about 200 miles, but yeah, you're about right.
You know the village that was 200 miles north? Yeah, everybody except Jin, that was one of the hunters, and about 15 kids. Everybody else is dead.
You hear the door unlock. Shink. Step inside.
And I'll step in.
There are three tall, muscular guys holding weapons as you enter the room, and they're pointed at you.
I just take my weapon off my back and hand it to one of them. And I go, you're showing me faith, so I'll show faith in you.
The guards kind of look at each other, and they slowly pull their rifles back.
Because I'm seriously not here to hurt anybody. I'm just looking for people.
So you see, coming out of the shadows, a tall, bald, muscular black man walk up to you. and goes, "So, Stonehorn was attacked, you say?
Yeah.
Who did it?"
It's gonna sound like I'm batshit insane. Um, I wouldn't believe it myself when I first hear it, but I'll even show you the footage to back myself up. Some evil type of guardian that can go faster than the speed of sound.
He raises an eyebrow at that and goes, "The speed of sound.
I just pull up the
What?
footage
What?
of him grabbing me and throwing me down the building.
That's pretty funny."
Yeah, it's not fun when you hit the ground. And I show him like the footage of Uros getting zipped across the ground with his face dragged into it.
He shakes his head and just like, "What is this? What am I seeing?"
That's the guy that wiped out Stonehorn.
What, that ball of lightning?
Mm-hmm.
This guy, he starts kind of looking around and goes, "This is some kind of trick."
Do you want to talk to Jan?
Who the hell's
Or
Jan?
Amelia? Or Amelia, one of the kids that actually survived? Or do you want me to contact the last city to talk to one of the 2 orphans that lost their fucking family? Or do you want to see the pile of dead bodies in front of the vault? Tell me, I'll do it right now just to prove it to you.
He kind of steps back a little bit and kind of crosses his arms and goes, "All right, fine. Let's say I do believe you. No one's come through here.
Okay.
Nobody."
That's all I needed to know. Because there's still 3 kids that I'm looking for to at least rescue before they end up dying alone in the fucking wilderness.
This guy kind of he kind of scoffs a little bit and goes, "Well, if they made it down this way, then they were stupid because the desert's gonna kill them anyway.
Would you
Desert's
rather?
more unforgiving than the forest if they're coming from that direction. So you'd really better hope they traveled north and not south."
Well, you're the only other, I guess, settlement that Amelia could think of. So,
Amelia. He just shakes his head in confusion. I don't know who this Amelia is.
the
Who?
daughter of the mechanic of Stonehorn.
Alan?
I don't know his name. I know that Uros would know it. Uros is one of the guardians that they rescued before everything went to shit.
He on the realization that yeah, Alan is a name that he recognizes and goes, "All right. I don't have the info you're looking for, but I'll tell you this: if they do happen to come my way, I can radio you. Just give me your
That's
frequency, and if anyone comes my way, I'll shoot you a message."
that's enough that I can ask for. And if y'all ever need help from a guardian, just contact me.
This guy extends a hand out to Ajax.
Elias.
Make a strength check.
Oh god, I'm weaker. 10, exactly.
He gives you an incredibly firm handshake. Almost feels like he might break your hand as he shakes it.
I just smile through it.
"Oh, Elias. Guardians are not very welcome in these parts, and I think you might know why."
Well, I am trying to hunt down any of the last remaining warlords, so trying to better the reputation of Guardians. Be that last little bit of light in the fucking black that is this world.
Noble intention. I like it. He just kind of smiles and starts kind of pacing around a little bit. Well, sir, if I have anything, I will call you, but in the meantime, I bid you adieu.
Have a good one and keep safe.
He nods to you and walks back into his area.
I'm just gonna leave.
Okay. So about this time, Amelia has been working on the decryption. She's finished the 3 thumb drives. So, what you've been able to discover so far is that in 2 of the 3 thumb drives, there are journal entries regarding the project itself, test results. It's a lot of number crunching and a lot of math that is really above pretty much everyone here. This is like trying to study quantum mechanics when you have a 2nd grade level of math skills. So looking at all this stuff is pretty confusing. But at the moment you're starting to gather a list of materials that would be required to complete or rebuild this device. But at the moment you're missing 3 key components: what the power source is, what the warhead system would sort of be, the technically a delivery system, and a propulsion system.
See.
So as Theo, as you're seeing this, and Amelia is seeing this up on the monitors, she's like, "This is what those scientists were studying. They found this. This is what the big eruption in town was a few weeks ago."
There were scientists here that were discussing this.
Well, and she kind of sits back. A few weeks back, they managed to crack open the vault. It would, when we came here, it was a sealed facility. No one really knew what was here before, but then a few weeks ago, someone managed to get the electronic lock open, and they opened up the vault. And when we discovered what was inside, there was a pretty big discussion, and that's where Uros, that blue guy, he kind of stepped up and made everyone kind of think on what they were doing with this stuff, and thought maybe it's best to keep it sealed away. But someone found out about it anyway. Someone knew this was here. Maybe. And she's just kind of like, her jaw's just kind of like moving just a little bit in thought. She's just contemplation.
Do you know if the scientists were here when Uros arrived?
She nods. Yeah, yeah. I mean, everyone's been here for as long as I can remember.
Okay, so I'm starting to think to myself, so we probably can't track down the scientists either.
And she just like, no, I don't think any of them made it out. And she notices something on the monitor as the information of the device is kind of floating over, and she stops on it and kind of expands on an image, and she's like, wait a minute,
Find something?
this design, This power regulation, this... No, that's impossible. That... She looks to you, Theo, and she points at a screen, and you see there's a fairly large number there, and goes, "Do you know what this number represents?"
Should I make an intelligence check?
Go ahead.
The number of God.
8.
8.
Just straight 8.
With this, I mean, in your mind, you're like, is that the amount of processing power required to make this work? You really don't know. And she just, before you even can get a chance to answer, she goes, "This is the amount of power that's going to be required for the Genesis wave to affect this entire planet. This number..." And she's just like, "That is going to require more power than every bomb that has ever been built by mankind in the history of the world. This power is... that's impossible."
Impossible for any bomb, but not impossible for someone that's a god. I'm gonna
Wait,
get into
she's
I'm
just
gonna
like, "You're not suggesting that he could power such a device?"
I mean, from what you're saying, and from what I've seen of his capability, he's probably not looking for a battery. He is the battery.
She turns back and studies the console. "No, this... he needs more than one. He needs more like 6. Um, and she starts kind of pacing, and she's like, she's thinking it over in her head. She's running the math in her mind, and she's kind of scratching her head, and she's just like, but if that's... and if it's this much, then how could he produce that much in such a short amount of..." And she kind of sits back and just goes, "Do you have any idea what could generate such power like this in the natural world?" And
Um,
she sits back. "There's only one answer: a star. He needs enough neutron radiation, enough energy to be able to produce this particular energy wave, and the amount of energy required to it has to encompass the entire planet. To encompass a planet the size of Earth is going to require basically the power of enough bombs that would wipe out the entire planet, focus into one particular area." Now, if we're thinking of modern bombs, and she's kind of making gestures with her hands, if we're talking modern bombs, then we're talking about something that's minuscule in size compared to what we're actually needing. This is like the modern bomb is like a grain of sand compared to the brick that we actually need. Even if we were to gather all the uranium across the planet, that still wouldn't be enough energy needed. He needs something bigger. What could generate enough energy at a consistent rate that could almost be equivalent to a small star?
can I get Nova to kind of chime in? Because I
Nova's
don't.
listening to this, and he's just like, fascinating. So, and he's looking over the console too, and he's studying it and goes, Based on what we know right now, she's not wrong. The amount of energy required is dependent on the size of the planet that the device is being used on. So if we're using it on a device of the size of Earth that would encompass this entire area, we're talking hundreds of thousands of square kilometers. In order for him to produce the Genesis wave on something of this size, he needs an incredible amount of energy. If this were to be done on something like the size of the moon, he would only need a third of the energy to do it. And Nova's like scratching his head, theoretically, and just like, I don't know how this energy requirement, how did they even build this in the first place? They had to have been able to reproduce something like it before. There's got to be more data here that we're missing. And Nova, he kind of drops a little data drive onto the table and kind of motions to Amelia. Let's decrypt this now. This might be the other piece to the puzzle to help us figure this out. And Amelia just kind of nods, and she pulls out the thumb drives and hands them back to you, Theo.
All right.
And then she will slot in the larger drive. And she starts to begin working on this drive, and her eyebrows kind of raise up a bit and goes, this might take a little longer than I thought.
How so?
And she kind of waves you to come over, and she points at the monitor. Do you see this? And she's pointing to a cluster of ones and zeros on the monitor.
Now, is this something I could understand?
Yes. Because of your exo nature, you don't even have to think about it. You can immediately understand this is like it's a corrupt data cluster.
Corruption.
Yep. I don't know how bad the extent is, but I'll try to dig up what I can.
Nova.
She nods and she begins to work on the console.
I have a question. Would any of that have been transmitted over the radio in like a call that I would have been able to join?
I'm gonna say no because you're preoccupied with your search out there. So this was kind of happening while you were discussing with the other guy over there.
I did kind of want to ask Nova a question.
Mm-hmm.
Would it theoretically, if I could hook myself to the computer, is there a way I could help with the corruption?
Nova kind of looks at you inquisitively, like, you want to use your brain to assist in clearing up the data corruption?
I don't quite like the idea, but if it can help, might as well try.
And Nova just kind of tilts his shell, like, okay. Let's see. And he directs you over to a port, and he goes, well, you can try to jack yourself in here.
I'm guessing my jack would be in my head.
Yep.
Alright, so I know this is an action that requires my helmet to be off, so
Alright, so first time ever, you pop off your helmet.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him, Amelia. Well, you know how you have your problems? Well, like I said, I have my own. And then take off the helmet.
She doesn't recognize it at first, and then her eyes kind of widen, and she's like, oh, you're a robot.
hideous one, ain't it?
That's interesting. And she kind of gets on her tiptoes and kind of tries to get up closer and examine your face.
I don't like showing my
So-
face to people, so
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not. I
You're
didn't mean
fine.
to offend you.
you're fine. Just don't mention this to the others.
Okay. I won't say anything.
Well, here goes nothing. As I take the jack and plug myself in.
All right.
Connecting into the matrix.
In my mind, I'm immediately thinking of Ghost in the Shell. Like, he's jacking into the net. All right. So as you plug yourself in, your HUD does shrink down, and your internal computer systems begin to take over. In your eyes, you're just seeing numbers just going across your display. They're coming up there, and you are beginning to scan the information that you have. Let's see. Okay. So with your computer, your onboard Exo computer, you are able to assist with not only breaking of the corruption, but you are able to assist with the decryption. So what was actually now going to take us over 12 hours to decrypt, you've actually now cut down to 7.
10-man great.
I got rid of the corruption. That's a start.
Amelia just looks over that, and she sees on the display the corruption is being basically like stretched out across the screen, and is basically being, it's like putting the number, like putting a puzzle back together, and you're just seeing the pieces just fall back into place. And she goes, "That was incredible, Thea. How'd you do that?"
Wish I knew myself. As
You don't know?
I don't quite like thinking about what I can do.
She just kind of tilts her head and just kind of she kind of clasps her hand together and just goes, "Are you afraid of what you are?"
As I guess I'm gonna unjack myself and just put my helmet back on. Shut.
Sorry. Couldn't help it.
In my eyes, and in everyone else that sees me, I am just human.
And she just kind of puts her hand on your shoulder and goes, it's sometimes hard for people to accept what they are, but you're really good at it. Look what you just did. That's incredible. I mean, have you been able to do anything like that before?
A targeting system of some sort activated when we were fighting that guy. Haven't been able to activate it since.
She kind of sits back and crosses her arm and kind of puts her hand to her chin in thought and goes, "You had a moment where where a targeting system came online for you, but stop. That's a software implement." And she starts thinking about, "I used to do software stuff back when I was younger. Hmm." And she's kind of now pacing around while the decryption is going on. She's kind of thinking on thinking on that and thinking about what you're saying.
It's
So while that's going on, it is now morning time. Elias, have you made your way back yet, or where would you be at?
Um, I guess I'd probably be landing at the village or already there.
Okay. So as you do approach, Paradox does advise to you that fallen activity is starting to increase around the area. It might be best if we move on quickly.
All right. Good luck convincing that kid, though.
Well, and Paradox just he's kind of shaking it back and forth a little bit, just thinking like, well, maybe we gotta figure out a way to get her out of here too. But right now, we need to make sure that we figure out what we got, and we need to get her safe.
That is the plan.
All right, and as you guys approach, Paradox does relay this over the radio to all of you guys. Hey guys, fallen activity's starting to ramp up. We may need to consider leaving soon. And Nova will jump in and goes, "We still got maybe 4 hours before all this data is fully decrypted."
crap.
So
Mm.
Paradox jumps in and goes, "I mean, if I'm giving a ballpark figure, we've maybe got a half hour before we get a patrol that's going to hit this area."
I mean, we do have a funnel to drag him in through.
Yeah, Paradox jumps in. So he goes, "Well, the options are then we hunker down, wait for the data to decrypt, or we take what we've got, cut our losses, and we escape."
I personally say hunker down.
Paradox just chimes in. Got no argument from me.
A bit of a query. If all three, if DB, as well with Nova, Paradox, I, and Amelia working to decrypt, how long do you think it would take?
Paradox kind of runs the numbers and goes, "Well, if the three of us work together, we can maybe get it done in 1 hour. But if you guys are in combat, you guys are going to be without us. You guys are going to be in serious danger."
Not if we force him through a fucking trap.
Paradox is feeling nervous about that and goes, "But if you fall, then I've got to get over to you to revive you, and that puts it's real
Don't
dangerous. Are you sure?"
don't worry. If they start to get beat up, I'll be sure to keep them safe. You have my word on that.
Paradox kind of looks to you and to Nova and goes, "We can do it, but you're likely gonna have to hold out while we make that happen."
Let's come outside real quick.
I'm on my way.
Make it quicker than just on my way.
Well, how fast do you think I can go if we're on my way? Jesus, I'm on my way.
Run!
No, I'm just taking a walk. Yes, I'm running.
Sounds like it. You're not breathing hard enough.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Here. I'm running. You feel better now?
No.
Big baby.
Try to find a piece of debris large enough to cover the door, like to the
Something
vault,
big.
like the melted hole,
Okay, I will see what I can find.
like a bunch of debris.
A bunch of debris. How about the big piece of debris, and then we can put it up along with a bunch of small debris.
I
It's
mean,
just
that's
debris.
kind of. We're trying to make it also look natural.
All right, fine.
I mean,
Almost
so
promised.
yeah, there's you can. Well, I guess my question is: are you trying to make like?
Trying to camouflage the door, like the hole in the wall.
Okay. Um. There would be enough busted up rocks and internal mountain structure that's just part of the facility itself that you could push several just busted up rocks and broken pieces to kind of make a pile in front of the door.
Yeah, that'd work. And then seal ourselves in.
Okay. So everyone's gonna go into the vault then and kind of wait it out, or
Yeah, pretty much, and just hope that the Fallen passes by and actually send our ships away.
okay.
Yeah, so send our ships away, bunker down, hope for the Fallen to go by, while the ghosts and possibly Amelia work on the decryption.
Yep.
Okay.
In which, if we're not going to be in combat immediately, then I can assist in decrypting as well, making it possibly a bit faster.
Well, here's the thing. If you're gonna be in the position to defend the door, you'll have to be up closer to the door. If you're gonna help with decryption, you'll be in the back of the room helping with Amelia. So if you want to help with decryption, you can, but you'll have to end up using your movement to catch up to the group once combat begins.
Just stay back there and help decrypt. We can hold the door long enough.
Yeah, and if anything, I can protect Amelia.
Yeah.
Okay. So then the order is going to be you two are going to set up a cover and blockade the door and cover it anything comes through, while Theo and Amelia will be working back on decryption.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ooh, if anything, I can drop down my shield for them. Well, my barricade. That way they have a bit more advantage on reloading.
Well,
And
no, we're
well,
probably gonna set up half cover and shit like that too.
yeah, that's what I'm assuming they're going to do that too. And plus, with that, it would be a concentration. Your barrier is
doesn't have to be.
concentration.
It doesn't have to be. It's concentration if I wish to keep it up, but it can't sustain damage. It's that if I keep focus on it, then it doesn't take damage.
Well, right, but I'm just thinking though because the focus is, I believe it's 120 feet. Is it 100 or 120? Your max range to keep it up?
Max range.
Because that would depend on, because you could, if it's within range, you could still use the concentration to actually keep it up, even though you're not near it. You'd just be at the maximum range you could keep it up. Just I'm forgetting what your max range is on that concentration, because I know it's a concentration spell.
Barricade. Okay.
Well, I mean not your barricade, but I mean your god damn it.
Oh, my super ability.
Yes, your super, your
Light.
your bubble, your Titan bubble.
Yeah, my bubble.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of when I'm saying your concentration spell.
Yeah, okay, hang on, let me quickly find that then.
Yeah, because your barricade I don't think has 100-foot range, but I'm pretty sure your Titan bubble does.
Let's see. If at any time you are 100 feet or more away from the center of your Ward of Dawn, you immediately lose concentration.
Okay, so 100 feet is your max range. So okay, then technically you would be, if you did drop your bubble kind of behind the guys, you could drop it there, and then you would be at 100-foot range from where the console is. You could technically keep it up.
Yeah,
Or
and
if
if
they just
anything,
wanted to set it in a hall behind us so we could retreat into it if we lost our ground.
Yeah.
that would probably be a better choice because if you do start to take damage, you can go in and then regain your shields immediately.
Yep. So you can kind of use that like a fallback point. So yep, that's entirely possible to do.
If that's what you guys want, then I'll do that.
Okay. Well, we're gonna set this up for our next episode where we'll be doing all the combat there. So we'll just kind of get the plans out here for that. So we're not doing that in the next episode. We'll just get straight into combat right off the bat. So
We'll also need to go over, you and I, my rift, because we never got to talk about that.
yep. Yeah, we keep forgetting about that, but yeah, we'll get into that, and then we'll iron out the combat details for that. But yeah,
I gotta step away, so I'll be back here in a minute.
Yep, that's fine. Like I said, we're gonna wrap up here for this episode. So, yeah, we're just gonna get. Was there any other plans that we want to iron out now before we step away? Just so this way we get the planning done now, and we just get into combat next go.
So from my understanding is that my bubble shield would be in a fallback point, which would be in the hallway, correct?
Well, you're in a large room basically, because this vault is going to be like a large kind of facility with a lot of large like shelves in there. So it's kind of thinking like a. This is gonna be a shitty analogy, but like it's like the back storage of a Walmart. Like there's shelves like stacked to the ceiling with just tons and tons of stuff like in them. So there's like lanes that you're looking down the way. So when you're setting up this bubble, you're gonna be setting it up in one lane, like that'd be right behind the guys that they can kind of fall back into and like use like a secondary cover.
Okay. I get it now. Okay.
Yeah.
And at the very least, that the bubble shield should be pretty defendable as well, considering the AC should be pretty high as well.
Yep, and plus I believe it's 60 hit points or 50.
It's 50, and the AC is 15 plus my charisma, which is 3.
Yep, so it's gonna be a pretty strong bubble.
Yeah, so if anything, it's going to be pretty dependable with combat. Just, hopefully it doesn't require a con, intelligence, wisdom, or charisma save.
That'll depend on who's gonna come through that door.
Oh, wait, no, those are immunities. It's dex I have to worry about.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, here's the thing, because we're coming back to Destiny enemies. It's been a while since we've used the Fallen, so I don't remember who has dex saves on them, but I don't think you're gonna worry too terribly much anyway, because you're gonna be in the back anyway, kind of playing defender. So
from what I know with dex save throws, it's always AOE's. So as long as there's no AOE, it's fine.
God, I don't even remember if there isn't. Oh, there's got to be.
There's more than likely going to be an AOE.
I can't think of it right now, and I'm not gonna worry about it. It's okay. We're gonna have fun. It's gonna be, survival of the fittest in a choke point. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. But yeah, it should be highly defendable, if anything.
Oh yeah.
So.
But yeah. We won't have D&D next week, just because holiday here, Thanksgiving, everyone's gonna be on holiday break, so figure well, we won't stream for that. We might come on, maybe stream a game or something, because I'm gonna be around for the weekend. I'm not gonna be doing anything, so I might stream a game or something. But otherwise, for me, I'm still doing Mass Effect Mondays. We're still going strong on Mass Effect 3. Probably got a couple more sessions of that before we move on to Andromeda, which I'm hoping to finish that out here before the end of the year. So I will complete the entire Mass Effect series before the end of 2021.
No, that's cool.
So feeling good about that. At least, something I can kind of hang my hat on and say, hey, I did that. Play an entire series of a game from start to finish.
Nice.
But yeah, on that, you guys got any streams you want to plug? Anything you guys want
Niga? I usually go last anyway, so that way.
to? Yeah, me and Matrix, we're always doing something. We're streaming Phasmophobia, or we're playing some games together. We do it randomly, so
yeah, and I
whenever.
might do a little bit of a box opening of these Transformers I have because I'm sitting here. I put them on Twitter for another group of D&D, but they also do a podcast talking about Transformers. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, I got my G1 sound wave out and everything. So
yeah, speaking of Transformers cards, I may or may not have a box of them coming my way here too. That is gonna be a holiday gift.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
because there would be a nice card in there that would be really like one that completes a Predacon set. Because I really want the Predacon set. He's the one
I won't
looks so
say
cool.
which set
I'm actually
I got this from because I'd rather be surprised because I managed to actually score this box at an incredibly good price. I'm waiting on it to arrive here soon, and yeah. Well, I mean, listen, if you're gonna do a box opening, I got a proposal for you that we'll talk about off stream because could be some fun content we can make out of that.
Oh yeah, because right now these guys I'm just thinking of opening them up because I mean I've got Ravage here. I mean I really want to open it up, but I'm gonna keep the boxes. I'm not gonna tear them up. I'm gonna try and be careful with them. So when I do, I'll probably stream it. It's either I'll record it and then put it up on YouTube. We'll see. Now I have to edit this one and put it up on YouTube. And then I got a guest coming over in about an hour and a half. So, yeah. Got to do my thing.
Fun.
But yeah, we're always doing something. You can check out Dave's links. They're in the description below. You can just click on it. It'll take you right to his channel. And my YouTube side of it is down there too. So you can find our cataloged past videos of all this stuff.
We got a YouTube channel with all our past stuff, so you can go back and watch our entire series.
Yeah, watch Rorschach painting, known as Elias or Visor, from the first couple there. You'll hear about that one.
I'm still waiting for someone out there to animate this moment. If you make a clip of it, animate it, I'd love to see it.
There's so many things I want to even.
I know we got some artist guys out here who would love a challenge. There's a challenge for you. Find this clip.
It's on Twitch too.
Make an animation of it and send it to Visor because it's gonna drive him crazy.
Yeah. Rorschach painting. Is that supposed to happen? I still love that scene. It's such a good scene.
Is his jump not supposed to activate?
Yeah. Is that intentional? Please tell me it wasn't. But anyway, see y'all next time.